Hi, everyone. My name is Chelsea Laliberte, and I am from Chicago, Illinois. I am a daughter, a sister, a girlfriend, a friend, a student, an educator, and an advocate for change, but most importantly, I am a person. A person who in 2008 lost my sibling, my only brother, to a preventable and reversible opioid overdose at 20 years old. My brother Alex was a person too. In fact, he was a classy, brilliant, kind, involved, would give the shirt off of his back kind of person. He was a person with soul and style, creativity and spirit. A person who, while at the worst point in his disease, maintained a 3.5 GPA at his Midwestern University, showed up on time, loved deeply, spoke genuinely, and contributed to society by volunteering. Due to the severity of stigma's wrath, people forget that Alex was a person. Or if they never knew him, they just assume he was one of the following words that I would love to eradicate from the human vocabulary. Words like junkie, derelict, dope fiend, druggie, degenerate, and especially addict. When we refer to people by their disease, and not, as Martin Luther King Jr. said, by the content of their character, we are limiting our loved ones, our friends, ourselves to a disease. And this limited response to the injustice by our government will do nothing to prevent 17,000 people from dying this year of accidental opioid overdose. A disease perpetuated with opioid pain medications created with the stamp of approval by our own FDA. How many more people have to die in order for the federal government to take the appropriate actions to do whatever they can in their power to prevent it? 100? 100,000? 1 million? Time is ticking and we are fed up. We can no longer live in a country where medical treatment is dictated by majority rules. Addiction is a disease, just like heart disease or cancer. It has to be treated differently for each person until recovery is feasible and supported. But how do we do that in a capitalist nation where lawmakers are asking for any answers and not the most relevant answers? Prescription monitoring programs are an incredible method to pinpoint individuals dependent on opioids, but what do we do once we have identified them? We can no longer live in a country where there is no next step after someone is turned away by a doctor. From the doctor's office to the dealer's doorstep they go, to buy their bag of heroin, to continue on with their use disorder. This is completely irresponsible and a death sentence. Instead of relying on the word no, let's refer them, those seeking what their bodies are telling them they need, to treatment. We can no longer live in a country where naloxone is unavailable to those struggling with opioid addiction. In most states in America, people do not have access to naloxone. Imagine how well it would be received if a diabetic could not access an EpiPen, because people might think that the government supports genetic disposition to it or a poor diet. That would never happen, and it is the same exact concept. It's time the federal government developed a much-needed National Naloxone Act and 911 Good Samaritan overdose law, and in doing so, work with major pharmacies to offer it over the counter. If an opioid user can purchase a clean needle at a pharmacy, they should certainly be able to purchase the solution to their potential overdose there as well. This is a disease. Let's treat it like one. We can no longer live in a country with an education system that does not know how to appropriately and effectively educate youth about drugs and addiction. With increased federal funding of research for drug education and enhancement of the evidence-based efforts currently available, we are one step closer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Liberty and justice for all. These words, each of us has recited every morning as students in schools. Schools with no effective and comprehensive drug or addiction curriculum. Schools where drugs are trafficked in hallways, on buses, on playgrounds, in bathrooms. Schools where prevention begins and compassion is enforced. These aren't perfect words. and we aren't a perfect nation, but we are a nation that has vowed that everyone deserves freedom and equality. So in the middle of this harrowing epidemic, I ask the government, have you done everything you can to ensure that the rights of people with the disease are being upheld fully and genuinely? Hell no. But it doesn't mean yes is not an option. Thank you very much.